it's my pleasure to introduce to you guys someone who was instrumental in helping me become acclimated in this community. There are a number of those people, but Charlie Mattox spent I don't know how many hours. He dedicated every Tuesday for about the first 10 weeks I was in Wilmington, holding my hand to visit with many of you. I got to meet a lot of you in your places of work. A personal introduction from Charlie Mattox goes a really long way. In addition to those hours, he spent many more. He's been a phenomenal coach to me, encouraging me along the way. And I just ask that you join me in giving Charlie a really warm thank you and welcome to the stage as he reflects on his year as chair.
They never make these tall enough. You know, it's been a great year, and I think the most important reflection for me personally has been the Chamber is not one person. The Chamber is bigger than all of us. And the work that has been accomplished in a short period of time really has been remarkable. You know, when it was announced that Natalie was going to join our team as president and CEO, the first quote that I think most of you read in the paper was that a hurricane of positive energy is about to hit southeastern North Carolina. And boy, that's been true. I would really, on behalf of our chamber board, on behalf of our volunteers, our ambassadors, would you please join me in giving Natalie a round of applause for a great first year. So we've done a lot together. What a year. Natalie took mention of the many meetings that we held, the many introductions, and thank you for those of you in this room that were kind enough to see us early on, because what that started was an important dialogue, one that I think continues to be really important as we chart our way forward as a community. These meetings were not only informative, but it really helped me to understand, and Natalie as well, of some of the opportunities that are right in front of us that we needed to reach out and grab. It really reinforced with our board that it was time for a new plan. We spent a lot of time together as an executive committee and as a board figuring out what that plan would be, and we really arrived on 3 pillars. Number 1, continuing to encourage economic development. Number 2, strengthening partnerships regionally. And 3, increasing the promotion of the region as a great place to do business. And I feel like as a team, as a community, as a chamber, I believe we've done that very well this year. Our strategic plan really identifies tactics, responsible parties, success measures, and the resources required, as well as the target dates for completion of some of these things. John Gisdick, who's going to join me here in just a minute, our 2018 chairman, is going to share more about that plan with you tonight. Another one of our goals was to involve our board members to a greater degree than they have been before. We intentionally tried to expand the age, the diversity, and the gender of our board in an effort to make sure that we heard from different segments within our economy that we had not heard from before, and different people. We have extremely wonderful talent. I'm so proud to work with these individuals every day, and we recognize them earlier by standing along with a lot of others, but I would appreciate if our current board for 2018, if you would please stand for just a minute and let the community see who you are and recognize you for your service. A couple of things that we've done in order to help make a larger difference within our business community. We created a few committees, and these committees are not just for chamber board members. There are several that if you hear something that piques your interest, I would encourage you to volunteer and be a part, because what we have going on is pretty special. The first is our Public Policy Committee, and this is chaired by John Elliott of Duke Energy. This committee is really focused on making sure that our elected officials hear from us and we hear from them about how we can work together to make a bigger difference in southeastern North Carolina. We have our industry sector councils that is chaired by Sean Allen from Castle Branch. This is a new area for us this year where we're trying to make sure that we do a very good job introducing CEOs in our tech community so that as we innovate together in an uncertain world, we're understanding that what we need to do from a talent perspective to help foster that a little bit better. Our Personnel Committee is led by Kim Bankston from GE. Our Talent and Workforce Development Committee is led by Stephanie Lanier. And they're putting forth a really good effort to make sure that we are, again, focused on talent and retention strategies. They're organizing our first annual Workforce and Talent Development Luncheon in April, and we asked that as you, as company leaders, human resource professionals, and as strategic planners for your organizations, please share that feedback with our team when we call so that we can understand how we can pool our resources as a community together to do a better job to supply you with the talent that you need. Our Investment Development Committee is chaired by T. Nunley, which is going to continue to help us grow our investment in our membership. Our Regional Economic Scorecard, Jason Wheeler, I see him in the audience. This has been our third one, and you guys have done a great job in helping us understand where we are, comparing us to peer cities. And the partnership with Dr. Jones with UNCW has been a very good one. I look forward to continuing to see how we improve over time. Cape Fear Future, Mitch Lamb could not be here with us this evening, but the work that the Cape Fear Future has done has been really good this year, and I think you're going to enjoy seeing more about how we can choose Cape Fear and spread that message around the world. And then our building committee that's been chaired by Brian Eckel has been very busy this year. As you've seen, we have a beautiful Embassy Suites next door. If you've not been in it, tonight was the first night that I've been in it, but if you've not been in it, I tell you what, that is a really shining star for this community and our convention center. I'd encourage you to go over and check it out. But Brian, between easement issues and water lines and parking lots where many of you know we had to give up our parking lot. We did it to be a good neighbor, but gave it up for 6 months. Brian did a really good job, and it's no wonder that, as I saw recently announced, that Cape Fear Commercial helped close about $250 million in transactions last year. It's his team behind that, and he's leading the way. So a lot going on. Collaboration-wise, helping to bring together 14 economic development partners in our area to be on the same page with them. We really appreciate Scott Satterfield's leadership there as well and look forward to having that continue. So a lot of really good things going on, and I guess in really reflecting, well, before I do that, I would like to highlight another special group that we have, our Chamber Ambassadors. Our ambassadors really help us spread the message and represent the Chamber to businesses all over southeastern North Carolina. They're a very diverse group, and that's what's really important. If our ambassadors who are in attendance today would kindly stand up and let us show our appreciation to you, that would be greatly appreciated. Our ambassadors. They're in the back, way back there. I'd like to, before I introduce John Gizdick, I'd like to really finish with one final thought, and that's how I started. You know, I've said it a few times, and I'll continue to say it. This chamber is a really special organization. It's special because of the people, the volunteers, the commitment, the board. It's special because it's not just one person. Even though Natalie is the face and the voice of our chamber and the face and the voice of our business community going forward, it's not just Natalie. Our chamber is greater than the sum of all of the parts of us in here today. And you know, what I think is really important as we look ahead to the future, we're experiencing, and you see it, a vast amount of growth very, very quickly. We're going to be faced with challenges as a community over the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years that we aren't necessarily going to understand the way through. It may not be easily apparent, but what it's really going to take, it's going to take continued conversations between all of us. It's going to take our elected officials continuing to be open to hearing our feedback. It's going to take differences of opinion and different perspectives. That's what it's really going to take. That's bigger than one single person. And so I would encourage you, as you think about your involvement in this community and in this chamber, I would encourage you to continue to stand up and raise your hand to give that perspective, to volunteer, to be a part, because it's going to be that collective effort as we move ahead that's going to really make the difference in whether or not we continue down what's a positive road or whether or not we can truly reach our potential.